That's fantastic.
Here we are for the fourth Penderyn Prize. Previous winners have been John Savage, Mark Lewison and Daniel Waitrell. And this year's shortlist, 7 people written 7 great books. Chris Difford from Squeeze, who was here last night, his book Some Fantastic Place. Cozy Fanny Tutti, who was here yesterday afternoon, her book Art, Sex and Music. Peggy Seegan, who's here on Friday, is still here with us. Her great memoir, First Time Ever. We have Stuart Cosgrove's follow-up to his wonderful Detroit 67 book with the equally wonderful Memphis 68. David Hepworth, who's been in London quite a few times. His book Uncommon People, which is about rock stars ain't what they used to be. There's Joe Hagan's Sticky Fingers, which is basically a biography of John Weller of the Rolling Stone, editor and publisher. You also have Billy Brandt's book on skiffle. So those are the 7 books. Now I'm going to introduce you to John Regala from Penderyn. So John Regala, where are you? Yeah. Here he is.
Hi, thank you. My job today is just to announce the winner, and the winner of the Penderyn Music Book Prize for 2018 is Stuart Cosgrove. Thank you. And it's great to give a bottle of Welsh whisky to a Scottish man.
That's lovely, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, first and foremost, thank you very much to Penderyn for this wonderful, wonderful award, and I'll take great pleasure in smuggling this back over the border to Scotland, almost as an anti-patriot. I have very, very fond memories of prize givings going back to the first ever prize that I won at school, which coincidentally brings me back here to Larne, the hometown of Dylan Thomas. As a young boy, strange circumstances, my father was a very active and well-known trade unionist in Scotland, and he'd gone on a trade union delegation to Moscow in the early 60s, where he'd met Yuri Gagarin, the great Russian spaceman, who'd spoken to him about his love of Robert Burns and indeed of Dylan Thomas, poets that he'd become aware of in his schooling in Russia. And on the way back, my father had got a portrait of Yuri Gagarin and written a postcard to me, and it was sent from Moscow to my home in Perth, where I grew up. And unfortunately and tragically in my life, my father was killed on the Sunday in a serious car crash, and the photograph, the postcard of Yuri Gagarin didn't arrive until the Tuesday after his death. So I'd clung on to this thing throughout my life as a kind of symbol of, you know, the things that you love in life. And it actually connected to the first prize I ever won. Our school had an annual verse speaking competition, and it was often referred to as the Burns Federation Award for Excellence in Speaking and Literature, or whatever. And I made the decision that in my school, my first year of secondary school, that I was going to do the verse from the famous death verse from Dylan Thomas. And the first prize I ever won was for standing on stage with the short trousers and the snake belt, tears rolling down my face, saying, "Do not go gentle into that good night, rage, rage against the dying of the light." and I won the prize. In fact, there'd have been a shower of bastards if they hadn't given me the prize. My dad had just died. I'm standing on stage doing a Dylan, what more do you fucking want, you know? And so that was my first ever prize that I won. This is my most recent, so for those circular reasons, it has a lot of special and emotional meaning to me. Thank you very much indeed to the judges, to the company, and to the festival itself. Much appreciated.
Hello, I'm here with Stuart Cosgrove, who's just been named the winner of the 2018 Penderyn Music Book Prize for his book Memphis 68, The Tragedy of Southern Soul, and it's a second in a trilogy.
That's right. It's the first book was Detroit 67, the year that changed soul. This one is Memphis 68, and the one that will be published later this year is called Harlem 69, The Future of Soul. So it pulls together soul music in the last 3 years of the 1960s across 3 different cities. The cities have become profoundly important. They're, if you like, the central character of all of the books. And the next one up, Harlem 69, also looks at where soul music went after the 1960s.
Great. And are you a whiskey man?
Oh, of course, yes. I mean, every Scot has some relationship with whiskey. My one is actually to do with locale. I was born and raised in Perth in central Scotland, which is probably one of the most successful, historically one of the most successful whiskey towns in Scotland. It was the home of Dewar's whiskey, of Bell's whiskey, big international brands. The world's changed though, because these were not brands that were, they were kind of consumer brands that you could buy in almost any pub in the world and still can. So they weren't part of the kind of recent, more kind of creative form of kind of distilling. We're living now in a much more selective craft era where people are interested in the authenticity of the brand, the specialness of it. And in lots of ways, the fact that this is a Welsh whiskey gives it real distinctiveness in the market, because whiskey has been predominantly dominated by Scotland over the years. But this is made in Wales, one of the greatest small nations in the world, and long may it succeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.